We had a guide. We asked them explicitly, are there going to be any rocks? Like, are we going to hit any rocks? No, we've never hit a rock. Done this 15, 20 times, never hit a rock once. The first set of rapids, we all got bashed into rocks. I was literally thinking that at any second, my head is going to get bashed into a rock and I'm going to die. You had no control in that river. The water was hitting me in the face over and over and over again. I thought I was going to drown. And I almost panicked. I told the guys I was with, I go, if you gave me $100,000 cash right now, I would not do that again.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tribe of Millionaires podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gruber, and my job is to dissect peak performance habits and routines from the most successful people on the planet. One of those people that I have today is a member. This is a member episode. His name is Kurt Buchert. Kurt is an entrepreneur, investor, formerly of New Orleans, now in the panhandle of Florida. And he's been a Gobundance member for a lot of years. Welcome, Kurt. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Jamie. Good to see you.
I don't know if you know this or not. Maybe it's how you get stopped in the street, but I joined Gobundance because you signed me up. Did you know that?
I vaguely remember that. Yes. So you're welcome for saving your life.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do people stop you like, wait, you're the guy that signed up Jamie Gruber for Gobundance?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah. All right, I want to start with this. Like, if I were to distill you down as a brand, Kurt Buchert as a brand, words like uncensored, uninhibited would come to mind. Is that how you feel? Do you feel like you are hey, I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to keep it real. Is that something you intend to be, or is just the way you are?
Kind of. I mean, I personally like people that are somewhat unfiltered. So I think when you are attracted to people like that and you admire that in other people, you try to be that way yourself. I mean, my wife tells me I need a better filter, but I also respond to that is, you should hear what I don't say. And then you might think I have the best filter in the world.
That might be true. Right now, as a guy who's unfiltered, however this question lands, what is something that you are wanting to say, or you have been saying that other people may not be comfortable saying?
I mean, regards to what topic? I mean, you could bring something up. I mean,
dealer's choice.
Okay, for example, I get asked a lot, here locally, like, why'd you leave New Orleans? And then I sometimes I'll ask them, like, well, do you want the real truth, or do you want like
we're getting good.
Truth?
We're gonna get the real truth here, though.
And they, of course, they say like, no, I want the real truth. So I basically tell them, I say, imagine living somewhere where every single place you go, no matter where you are, you're thinking about somebody putting a gun to your head, robbing you, stealing from you. Every night you go to bed, your car could get broken into. And then the politics has gotten so gross. New Orleans has just become like a combination of like Portland, like really woke white people, and Detroit, like really crime-ridden ghetto Black community. Yeah. And that's the combination. And it's gotten really untenable. It got really untenable for my wife and I. And when COVID hit, we hated all that stuff. We weren't putting our kids in masks, all that kind of stuff. So that was the last straw for us. And we were out and we never looked back. So
have you kept your portfolio there?
Yes. And that's one of the things going forward that I need to decide whether I'm going to keep my portfolio there or start selling stuff off slowly or sell it all at once or what. We have one thing for sale there right now, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that, to be honest with you.
Do you see a path back for New Orleans too? I was just talking to Wilson Leung yesterday, who's south of San Francisco, and I see San Fran as the next Detroit. I think it's on the brink of collapse. I think their commercial real estate market is absolutely, it's burning down left and right, and their policies in place, like the lack of a desire to hold anybody accountable for crimes that are, I mean, $1,000 or less in theft, is not punishable in San Francisco. So I see that city on the brink of collapse. And he talked about seeing some indicators of maybe a turnaround. How about New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing a lot of people are talking about. A lot of my friends that still live there is whether they're in a death spiral that it's not going to be, like Detroit, what happened to Detroit, or
Yep.
whether maybe it needs to have a death spiral and hit rock bottom and then people will learn their lesson. But I'm not that optimistic because I don't think people are learning their lessons. Like people are, it's like the murder capital of the world, and they don't care. Like they care. They don't want it to happen to them or their neighbors. Nobody likes their car broken into or robbed, but they don't do anything to change it. So I don't know. I mean, it's getting to a point where the politics are so like 90-10 that it's not even close to changing the politics. So I don't know how that changes. So it's kind of, San Francisco too. It's like, how do you not do something about people defecating in the street everywhere? And I mean, that you can just commit robbery and not get arrested or do time. It's crazy, man. And I just don't want to live like that. I don't want my kids to grow up like that. I mean, I have so many stories of things happening to family and friends. Luckily I've never been harmed or anything, but a lot of close calls. And
Wow.
where I live now, there's zero crime. There's zero, any of that. So
Is
I don't know. And then real estate investing there, to answer your question, the insurance prices have gone up a lot.
I'll bet.
They're doing some reassessments on property tax too, and a lot of that's going up. So yeah, man, it's going to really hurt the real estate market there. So
Are rents tracking or no? Or rents staying fairly stable?
Rents are actually pretty good there. I mean, they never have the big ups and downs of other cities. Like you're never going to have, 20% a year increase in rents there, but it's usually been pretty solid over the years because it's always been a renter friendly city, and people will come live in New Orleans for 3 to 5 years and have a great time and have a lot of fun and do all the fun New Orleans stuff. And then kind of when they're ready to have a family or reality sets in, they're like, okay, I'm going to go live somewhere else where I don't have to worry about all these issues.
Wow.
So as a landlord, it's been a great investment over time. I mean, I've been doing it there for 20 years.
Yeah. If you were to sell your portfolio there, what do you do? Where do you reemerge? And are you in the same space? Are you investing in the same asset type wherever you would reemerge?
I'd probably go a little bit more passive, invest in more real estate syndications. I like doing that a lot. I like Airbnb a lot. Have a few of those. Maybe, buy a few more Airbnbs when things settle down with Airbnb. And then, maybe look at buying a turnkey business. I kind of like the idea of that as well. Never done that before, but, I see, the baby boomers are going to be selling their businesses over the next 15, 20 years. And there's probably going to be a lot of opportunities there.
No doubt. What, when you say Airbnb, when it comes back, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think right now, the last few years, they've just had a huge oversupply of Airbnbs, and, the nightly rental rates have corrected a lot in many markets. So I think some of these prices are probably going to be coming down a little bit. So I might wait that out a little bit and see if there's some major corrections coming on in some good Airbnb markets.
Are you in a spot now? You moved to the Panhandle, Pensacola area. Are you in a spot where the inward migration has boomed the population? And if so, have the politics started to shift? It's always an interesting thing. People move from San Francisco to Austin and bring their politics with them, even though they don't want to be in San Francisco because of the politics. Is that an experience you're seeing in Florida, in the Panhandle specifically?
No. So we're between Destin and Panama City, in the 30A area. No, I think it's actually the opposite. I think the people that are moving here have left crazy cities and decided, screw it. I'm own a business, or I'm a real estate investor, or I work from home. I can get out of these cities and go do this at the beach. So I think it's actually gotten more conservative here than it even was before. And here's like the opposite of New Orleans. Like it's like a 90-10 split. Like it's another world. Like crime doesn't happen here. People freak out over the craziest things here. Like, if a bike gets stolen here, it's a huge deal. I don't even remember the last time I've heard about a bike get stolen, much less a car or something. Like stuff just doesn't happen here. Like, wow. You don't even think about crime. Like in New Orleans, I always have my head on a swivel looking where I am and eyeing up my surroundings. Here, somebody could rob me so easily here because I just don't even think about it. I look down, like somebody could walk up to my car and rob me, and it'd be really easy.
Yeah, I know it's so unfortunate in some of these cities. There's got to be a breaking point, right? New York, Chicago, Detroit, San Francisco, New Orleans, right? Like a lot of these cities or even Austin, the homeless population is exploding in Austin. There's got to be a policy shift somehow, some way. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how it happens, but seems like it. No.
Yeah, Austin. I mean, I had good buddies that moved to Austin 15, 20 years ago. And we used to joke, I was living in New Orleans, and we used to joke that if Austin, they'd have a few murders a year. So when they had a murder, it was like a huge deal. And I think I looked recently, and now they have like 100 murders a year.
Wow.
And it used to be like under 10 or something pretty recently. Like they've had a big increase in crime. I mean, I love Austin, but like they've had a big increase in crime, and their, 6th Street, I think, is kind of crazy now, like
it is
Urban Street style. So yeah, these cities are going to have to get it under control. And maybe it takes, like I said, hitting rock bottom like New York did in the late 80s. And, maybe it's going to take something like that for it to correct itself. So
it's funny you say that. When I was growing up, I grew up on Long Island. So we would go to New York City with some regularity, see the Statue of Liberty or whatever. Yeah. And the place you did not go, especially after dark, was Times Square. You don't go there. It was awful, right? Like a lot of crime, drugs, all of that stuff.
Yeah, porn theaters, all that kind of stuff.
Porn theaters. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but it's come back. So it's going to take that Giuliani-esque, I guess, type of presence, that attack on crime in order for cities to clean themselves up. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if I was a billionaire, I would go into one of these cities and like let it hit. This is a conspiracy theory in me. You would like almost go in and make a city absolutely awful, and then buy up all the real estate, and then form your own police force and make it the most crime-free place in the world. And like your real estate would like 10x in value. It'd be like the best investment ever.
You talk. That's a great idea. You talk about syndications. Are you in any right now, or are you only invested in your own portfolio?
Yeah, I think I've been like 6 or 7 different syndications. Yeah.
How have you, like, this is now that we're on the other side of, the big push and everything was going great and up and to the right and commercial real estate and any syndicator made money in the last 5 years. Has any of your syndications have any of them gone bad? Well, let me start with that. Have any of them gone bad, or are they on the brink of going bad?
Yeah, I've had one go bad that we only got 60 cents on the dollar. It was a real estate development deal. And I kind of learned my lesson with that. Probably going forward, I'll do more of like more turnkey multifamily syndications that are like,
why? What did you learn from that?
Developments.
Yeah. What did you learn from that?
I learned that like, new development deals they're just much riskier. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of moving parts, contractors, construction, you're dealing with permits with cities, and it's just a much different deal. I've got another one in Texas that was a new development deal that I don't know if it's going to go bad. It's not going well. So we'll see how that one goes too. But all the ones that I've invested in kind of turnkey apartment, multifamily stuff have done really well. There's a lot of people that have invested in deals with short-term debt that are coming due, or they have come due or whatever. And you've seen a lot of news of some large operators that have had a lot of repossession. Do you have a core sort of thesis that you stick to when you're investing passively in a real estate syndication? Well, I'm starting to have a more core thesis. I'm trying to learn these red flags, like never invest with people that are flashy, that, if they have a picture of a sports car on their Instagram page, I'm not going to invest with them. If they've just been doing this for a few years, I'm probably not going to invest with them. I want to know like what if they've had any deals go bad. Like you almost want them to have like a deal that has gone bad, because you learn so much from the deals that have gone bad. Yeah. And then I like kind of the nerdy people like that, or the engineer types that are not flashy and they just really know their numbers and they're great operators, and those type of guys as well. Because you got to operate these things. Like, I've been doing this for 20 years now. Like, you got to get dirty sometimes. And I actually like that in real estate. I like to get dirty sometimes. I'm not above getting down and dirty in some of these real estate deals that I've done. So I expect the same from syndicators.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. I hope you're getting tremendous value. I want to make sure that with this information, you have a way in which you can integrate it into your life. Best way to do that is being a member of any of our Gobundance communities. Just go to Gobundance.com, submit your application. No matter your net worth, we've got the community for you. Back to the show. Any of the investments you've done as a result of groupthink?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're all subject to groupthink. We're all subject to herd mentality. So
Guilty.
yes, you have to be very, if you have a bunch of people that that are investing in a deal, you have to stand back and be like, okay, are they investing because they know, if they analyze this deal a lot, are they investing because the other guy's investing? And then am I investing because he's investing? So yeah, you got to watch that.
That I think is the biggest thing that I've learned going through this economic slowdown, whatever we're in, correction, recession, whatever you want to call it. Is, not that you don't, of course, to do your due diligence, but that trusting energy that I have, maybe you have as well. I've got to set that aside when it comes to where I'm going to place my money and make sure that it makes sense for me. It feels right for me. It hits my criteria. So no, I appreciate you talking about that. What's, so if selling the portfolio or not, whatever, you've made the move. You've got 4 kids now. You have this incredible lifestyle that you're developing. I know your priority is that, right? Family and making sure you're living your best life. What's 5 years from now look like for you? What's the next vision, the next horizon, the next goal that you have for yourself?
I'd say within 5 years, I'd like to hit the 8-figure mark. So have, a high net worth. And that was always kind of my number. And then also, have a very good cash flow. We do spend a lot of money because we have 4 kids and we like to go on, fun trips and everything, but my wife nor I we're not very materialistic. We don't even like to spend money on like dining out much because actually it's really not even fun right now to bring 4 kids under 8 to a restaurant. It's actually it's very stressful. And you're worried about like the table next to you. They're spending $100 on a meal and they have 4 kids screaming next to them. So we don't even spend money on that really. So I'd say an 8-figure net worth would be one of my big goals. I want to continue, been doing very well on my health pillar, continue that. I want to become very, very good at pickleball. I am good. I want to become great at pickleball. I'm like in love with that sport right now.
Wow.
And, I want my kids to grow up and I want them to learn the value of money, the value of hard work, the value of investing. And one of the things I need to challenge myself on is creating some problems for them. Because we actually, where we live now is not a very hard place to live. Yeah. So there's some downside to that. I grew up in New Orleans, so I saw a lot of crazy stuff. I don't really want my kids to see all the things I saw growing up, but I also don't want them to be soft. So that's one of the challenges over the
did you see that post recently in the Gobundance group? It talked about that. There was a question about like, hey, I feel like I'm raising bratty kids. A lot of guys jumped in on that. Yeah. What are some of the things you're trying to do? Is there any ideas that you've implemented or about to make it tough on them, build grit?
So, we've gotten our 2 oldest kids bank accounts through like the Greenlight app. They have their own debit cards. I'm trying to teach them the value of money early, that things aren't free. And I'm, equating it with work. Like my son has his own little business where there's a bunch of part-time owners in our neighborhood. So he'll go bring their trash out to the curb and bring it back in on trash days and people pay him to do that. So he's got his own little business. Yeah. I've got my daughter doing chores around the streets. So I'm trying to, equate work with money. And then also, we're trying to, I'm trying to create some things where, some things are physically hard. I'm trying to get them into running. Like I like to do a lot of races. I'm trying to get them to do races with me. And, they don't love it, but I think they like running with dad, but they've got to equate, doing painful things on purpose, which when I was a kid, that wasn't really a concept. Like, why would you want to do painful things? But I think as an adult, I realized that like, you got to do hard things on purpose. It's good for you.
What's the Greenlight app?
That's like it's like a financial app for kids that, it creates their own little bank account. You can like pay them. You can almost match like a 401k. You can match their savings rate. You can Greenlight gives them a little interest on their savings. You can divide it up so you can have spending, saving, and giving. So it's like
Oh, nice.
three different sub accounts in the account: spending, saving, and giving. So you teach them the importance of actually giving some of their money as well.
Hmm. That's incredible. I've never heard of that. That's so it's
Yeah,
just
they give them little debit cards, their pictures on it. So they love that. And like when I'm at a store and they want a candy bar or whatever, ice cream, and I say, well, I'm not buying that for you. You can buy it for yourself if you want. So I give them the debit card. I make them walk up to the front with the cashier, tell them what they want, and then they scan the card themselves. I'm trying to teach them that whole process.
That's incredible. I'll have to do that. I think it will work down here, but I'll have to do
you can pull up the app and show them how much money is in their account. So they like it.
That's cool. That's very cool. That's a great tip. I love that. I love getting these little hacks and tips like that. So, all right, let's dive into some of the Gobundance member questions. So we have 6 pillars. You've been around for like 12 years, so you know them. Bucket list adventure, age-defying health, genuine contribution, horizontal income, authentic relationships, and extreme accountability. In which of those 6 pillars do you feel like right now you are crushing it, Kurt Buchert?
Age-defying health. I think I'm in the best shape I've ever been in right now.
Pickleball? Is that why?
That's part of the reason. I play
Yeah.
2 hours of pickleball every single morning, not Sundays, but 6 days a week. And man, I've noticed with that, like I can eat anything and I'm probably not going to gain weight after doing that. And then I mix in other stuff. I still work out. I still, my wife's got a Pilates and cardio studio. I still go take classes over there. And I just did, I did a 70.3 Ironman a couple months back. And I just did the Leadville Marathon in Colorado in June. So I feel like I'm in the best physical shape I've ever been in at 46.
Incredible. That's amazing. You look youthful. No bullshit. Like you look
Thank you.
Younger, if you will, than even when I met
Appreciate
you a few years ago. So yeah, of course. In which one of those pillars could you use more support and or accountability?
I think probably giving back. These are all excuses right now. I have 4 kids under 8. So, my time is very limited. So I haven't been giving much of my time to causes. I do give some money away, probably don't give enough money away. So that's one of the give back pillars, probably one I really need to work at and probably need people to hold me accountable. So
is there a specific cause that resonates with you most?
I try to do things that are faith-based. When I give money away, I try to give to Christian organizations that are really good, that I know are really good. Like there's one, actually a Gobundance guy turned me onto this one. It's called, I think it's KAA camps, and they take kids from the inner city, mostly African-American kids, and that have probably never been out of their urban setting. And they take them to summer camps in Missouri in the summer, and they take them for a week and have an outdoors week with them. So I've been trying to sponsor one kid every summer doing that. I'll pay for their week of camp. So I think I like that one a lot.
That's cool.
And yeah, I think that, because I'm big on the outdoors. I feel like every kid needs to have an opportunity to get outdoors and experience nature, experience physical activity. And then I like that it's, faith-based as well. So
no, I love that, man. That's great. KAA camps.
Yes.
KAA camps. Got it. Where in your life, what area of your life are you potentially flirting with disaster?
With disaster. Wow.
Disaster. Big, heavy word.
That is heavy. I'd say right now I'm in a transition phase with like my bookkeeping tax stuff. So I'm normally a very organized person. But right now I was like kind of transitioning to like a new bookkeeper for all of my stuff and my wife's business. And I have a bunch of, different partnerships and different properties and everything. So like I'm transitioning from the way I had it organized before to like a new bookkeeper tax person. So that is a mess right now. And I'm trying to sort through it. And I freaking hate the IRS. I hate the tax system. I'm sure a lot of people do, but like I really am anti-government, anti-IRS. I think they should abolish it. So the fact that I'm like, have to file this, term paper for some government bureaucrat every year drives me absolutely insane. I hate every part about it. So I hate doing things that I'm like morally against, but I don't want to go to jail, so I have to do it.
Are you a consumption tax guy?
Yeah, I think that would make more sense. You just charge people, based on buying things, and you pay it right there as you buy something. Yeah, I think the amount of money we take out of our economy to file these term papers every year is probably insane, and everybody hates it. It's stressful, and it's probably subtracting years from everybody's lives.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well said. Well said. I'm with you on that. In what specific way has Gobundance impacted your life?
Number one, the brotherhood, the connections. I am a lone wolf out here. I felt like a lone wolf in New Orleans, and, still kind of a lone wolf where I live. I work at home, and I don't go to an office. I don't have a bunch of, men that I work with on a daily basis. So having that brotherhood and the connections there have just been incredible. I mean, just hundreds of guys that I feel like I could call on if anything happens. I tell people, like, if I went bankrupt tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I'd go work for a Gobundance guy. I'd say, hey, I'm gonna come work for you. And I would probably get an incredible job, and, I'd be right back at it within a week. So, just the brotherhood is just amazing.
Isn't it true? Like people have said that, like, what's your most valuable asset? And I'm like, it's my network equity. It's the people I'm around, right? Like, cause you said it, God knows what could happen financially, right? It could all go away for whatever reason, but being connected with the right people will likely prevent that. And if something went really south, to your point, I can add value to some of these guys, and I'm sure I could recover way faster based on my network equity. So now that makes total sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
What advice would you give to a new or prospective member of a Gobundance community? Excuse me.
Number one would be to go to events, whether that's the big Gobundance events or whether it's just a small trip with 5 or 10 Gobundance guys, is put your face out there, put your face to your name, and get out there and show up physically. Everything's great online and through Zoom calls. That stuff's invaluable, but face-to-face stuff is number one for me. I just went on a trip to Maine with 9 guys that I really didn't know that well, and spent 5 days with them, hiking mountains, almost dying on a river. And we have a permanent bond now with those guys. And so the face-to-face stuff's incredible. Doing hard things with other men are gonna get you tight.
Why'd you almost die?
Well, one of our members almost really died. Matt almost drowned and went into shock. And
Holy crap.
we were paddleboarding down this, I think, called the Kennebec River in Maine. And we shouldn't
Kennebunk.
And we shouldn't have done it. It was extremely dangerous. It was horrifying. We all got hit. We all got rammed into rocks, and the river, you had no control in that river. And at some point, the water was hitting me in the face psycho hard and over and over and over again. I thought I was going to drown, and I almost panicked. I'm lucky, like, I just did all that training for the Ironman swimming, and I live by the ocean. So, like, water doesn't freak me out too much, but I almost went into a state of panic.
Wow.
Another guy, Lance, he basically panicked as well, and he almost went into shock. And it was dangerous, man. Matt almost died. Yeah, it was bad. I told the guys I was with, I go, if you gave me $100,000 cash right now, I would not do that again right now.
No.
And I would seriously think about it if you said $1 million. I don't know if I'd do it. It'd be close. Maybe $1 million I would do it, but not $100,000. I would not do that again.
Were you just unguided? There was nobody with you?
We had a guide, but he was
air quotes. Yeah.
He was just like a guy that he's done it like 15 times. And they told us we asked them explicitly, are there going to be any rocks? Like, are we going to hit any rocks? And they said, no, we've never hit a rock. Done this 15, 20 times, never hit a rock once. The first set of rapids, we all got bashed into rocks. And so the rest of the time, I was literally thinking that at any second, my head is going to get bashed into a rock and I'm gonna
Okay.
die. And it was bad, dude. It was scary.
I'm glad you made it out. All of you. Made
Other
it
than
out.
that, it was fun.
Did you guys hug it out after that was over? Like you get on shore? Was it like,
Well,
did you-
John Edwin, he couldn't do it because he has a knee issue. He has a neck and a knee issue, and he was picking us up. And dude, when we hiked up the stairwell to get back, he was like all excited to see us, and he looked at us like, and he saw our faces, and he was like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "These guys just went through it."
holy crap. I didn't hear about this. That's interesting.
Oh
That's
man, it was bad.
All right, we'll wrap it up with a question from the Gobundance card game. I've had this question come up, and I always just generate a new card because I'm like, nah, nobody's gonna. But I'm gonna try it with you. So, what is your favorite Queen of Hearts? What's your favorite song?
Wow, what is my favorite song? That is a tough one because I'm actually not a huge music person, but I really like. I'd say this is probably my favorite. I like that song by Travis Tritt. What is it? Beautiful Day. Is it? What's the name of that song?
I don't know.
It's a great day to be alive. Not Beautiful Day. I love that song. It's a great day to be alive by Travis Tritt. It's just like makes you feel good whenever I hear it. I like country music, and it's just really a song that like peps you up. And like it's true, man. Every day the sun is out. It's a great day to be alive, man.
You half ruined the second part of this question, which is sing it. So you gave me a little bit, but you got some, is there a crescendo you can build to before you get to the chorus?
I'm a terrible singer, but it's a great day to be alive when the sun blah, 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 blah. I don't know. No, but it's true, man. Every day you wake up,
I love that.
blessing from God, every additional day. And that's a great song to get you going. Travis Tritt. It's a great day to be alive.
Anyone that was going to be asked that question, it was going to be you. I can't even imagine who else I might have come on that I could ask that question of, but I'll try it. I'll try it with somebody else. So. Kurt, what's a good way for people to either connect with you or find you, social media account, anything like that you want to drop?
Probably Instagram, Kurt BUC at Kurt BUC, KURT BUC.
We got to, so you could be with singing now, you could be Curdy B.
Curdy B. Yeah.
Like the male version.
Like Cardi B.
Right. But your WAP would be a different P.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be singing songs like she does, but
do you understand that reference or no?
I actually am ashamed to say I understand that reference because I purposely try to know nothing about celebrity and pop culture. I've even eliminated commercials from my life.
Yeah.
So, but I'm ashamed to say I do know that reference.
Funny quick story on this Pat Hyben story. This was 2 years ago. I was in Austin at Mike McCarthy's house, and it was just me and Pat. We're sitting in his kitchen, in Mike's kitchen. I don't even know where Mike was, but we're sitting in his kitchen, and Mike just had the TV on like all day, and it's just playing music. And that song comes up, WAP, Wet Ass Pussy, right? That's the song. And I'm sitting there. It was new at the time, or newer. I really hadn't heard it before. It was just the beginning of it, like the music. There was no words being said. And Pat's sitting there. He's got his glasses on and he's writing something, not looking at the TV. He's looking like I'm an eye shot of the TV. He's facing me, but he's writing something. And without breaking a smile or anything, he just goes like this, wet ass pussy. And I was like, I'm looking at him like, what the fuck did he just say? I look over at the TV and it says it. Like, like an MTV thing, it says it on the bottom. And I look back at him and he finally looks up, no smile. And he's just staring at me like, what? I'm like, how do you know that song? And he tells me this whole story about a boat that is like at the entrance to Folly Beach before you cross a bridge or something. And I guess they paint the boat like somebody, like it's like a, what do they call it? Like a graffiti art boat. People just like paint it. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
A landmark. And somebody painted WAP on it, not the actual words, but WAP, and he didn't know what it meant. He learned about it and he just started listening to the song. But to see a 50-something-year-old bald white dude straight face sit there, like it hit him. I didn't even know how the music starts, but he's what ass pussy. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. And then
that's hilarious.
Shocked that I was shocked that he knew what that was. So anyway.
Yeah, Pat has those dynamite drop-ins, and dude, I'll give it to Pat. He goes to all these music concerts, and Man, I'm probably too old for that stuff. And he just rips it, man. He loves going to that stuff.
He stays up with it. He's a good dude. So, all right. With that, Kurt, thanks, brother. Thanks for coming on.
All right, Jamie. Appreciate it, buddy. Good to see you.